with Polygon Pythagoras. MetaMask, yeah, crypto cash. Yeah, I seen the metaverse through Metatope. My eyes a megaphone. Customize my empty skin to optimize my flesh and bone. Phase 1, evolution, revolution. Smart contracts inside your smartphone. Phase 1, evolution, revolution. Help me ET phone. Whole body markerless motion capture. The metaverse broken after the Metatope golden era. The whitelist still open. Hurry up, what you need? Golden chariot. Holy virgins that's holding cherubims, paving the road with fairy dust. Create the avatar of your wildest dreams, yeah, and use it inside your live stream. And all your metaverses, favorite games in widescreen. Metatope, visualize your digital eyes.
By listening to the following, you are acknowledging that the comments, opinions, and analyses expressed by Metatope LLC, its representatives, or any other contributor are for informational purposes only and should not be considered individual investment or legal advice or recommendations to make an investment or adopt any investment strategy. You should be aware of the real risk of loss when buying and selling any assets, including but not limited to NFTs, tokens, or securities. Always conduct your own research and strongly consider seeking the advice of a financial or legal expert. And now, here's Crypto Chris G with TopeTalk.
Wow. It sounds great every single time I hear it. She's hot. Anyway, what's going on, guys? Welcome to TopeTalk, episode 57. We got a bunch of cool stuff to talk about today. Go ahead and please, for the love of God, and whatever you love, like and retweet the space. Oh my gosh. Like and retweet. Average is here. Let me add him up. What's going on? Welcome everyone to TopeTalk, Airdrops games. We're going to talk about some Telegram bots, but first we're going to go around the stage, see if Walker wants to do a market analysis, and then I'll drop in some news, and then we'll get into the combo. So what's going on, Crypto Medic? How's your Thursday going?
What's up, Crypto Chris G? My brother from another mother, just out here in the desert, frying like a fish in a pan. But loving everybody turning out. Appreciate everybody's support. Excited to hear what we're going to talk about today.
Sweet, man. Yeah, thanks for being here. Thanks for the awesome songs to get everybody pumped up. Moving over, let's say hi to the two guests. Mr. Ark. What's going on, Ark? Good to see you again through the Zoom meeting we had. And yeah, man, thanks for being here today for TopeTalk.
Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for having me. Yeah, nice to talk to you again, Chris. And those were a couple fire songs. That last one got me pumped. I love me some high BPM drum and bass. I'll listen to that all day.
Great, man. Yeah, me too. I like the melodical, a little deeper stuff, but you know, these pump it up songs are great for space and stuff. So, what's going on, Average? The man of Telegram bot tokens himself. How you doing, bro?
Yo, what up? How's it going today?
We're good, bro. It's looks like I'm hearing thunder outside my window. Which means it's like 5 to 6 p.m. in Florida every single day.
Yeah, this is the atypical Floridian daily thunderstorm. Yes.
Yeah, it's gonna hit Tampa here, then I'll make it your way. I can't see the flag, but I'll check to see which way the wind's blowing. But yeah, Enzo, what's going on, man?
Yo, how's it going, man? I'm doing great. I've had an amazing past week. As you learned earlier this week, I joined the real world. I wanted Andrew Tate to teach me how to be a man or something like that. So I've been doing great. And I actually just finished my lesson on airdrops. So I kind of have a little bit of an input in the conversation. So yeah, I'm excited for this one.
Sweet, man. I mean, when you say the real world, you got to remember I'm 35. So like, I'm thinking like the TV show, not, you got to say you're coming to become a top G, not the real world, bro. Just say you're going to be a top G. Refer to the fake world as the Matrix. No one says the real world. They call it the Matrix, bro. I mean, I never went through any of these classes, but I've seen enough interviews. Anyway.
Will do. From now on, I got it. I just want to become a top G.
That's all that matters, bro. You got to become a top G. Average is good. You all right, Average?
Oh shit! Did I have my mute? Did I have my mute
Yeah, I
button
thought you
on?
were signing like, gosh, I hate Andrew Tate.
Nah, dude. Yeah, I was just laughing about the real world thing because that's exactly what I thought he was talking about too.
Yeah. So, and then Walker's in an Uber. I don't know if he wants to just say hi real quick.
Hey guys, hope everybody's having a great day. Yeah, I don't know how the audio quality is, but let's get to it.
It sounds really good, man. Do you want to just so we can knock it out? Do you want to just give a quick like market analysis? Doesn't need to be long or anything.
Yeah, bro, for sure. So, I mean, Ripple's been a really hot topic. I've actually, full disclosure, have been shorting it. For like the past 24 hours, been really good so far. So I mean, looking at Bitcoin, Mac Daddy of them all, they're gonna everything else is really gonna follow suit most of the time, right? Like if Bitcoin's going up by a lot, down by a lot, typically altcoins are gonna move down because either Bitcoin is sucking liquidity out for people who try to ride that wave, or people are moving out of the market in fear. And, based on this recent run up, I thought we were probably looking at a top. We got rejected at the top of that range like 4 or 5 times between that 30,900 and then at the top we went to 31.6. All right, so that's where I have my Fibonacci retracement starting. And if you draw those lines from the most recent breakout to the top, then it puts your, see what fib line is this? This is your 0.236, and we've broken below that. This is on the 4 hour, and we're retesting that on a bearish retest. It's not looking too great right now. I mean, not that that's a negative thing, right? But it's, as far as upward price action, I think definitely we're weighted down now, kind of making this bear flag after this recent move down. Yeah, so I think overall the macro environment is looking relatively healthy, comparatively to what we thought we would be facing this time last year. I think that it's likely that we see a cool down going into Q4 and maybe even Q1 of next year. But I mean, overall, man, the market looks really good. We've seen a lot of bullish sentiment from the largest industries at B. So I'm really excited for any opportunity to dollar cost average in and snipe those dips. And I'm very confident that we'll be clapping close to the probably the $50,000 mark around the halving. Not financial advice, just my opinion.
Nice, man. Yeah, no, I agree. The XRP stuff, man, it pumped, and then it pumped again, and that seemed like a really good time to catch a short on that 86, 85 cent mark. But yeah, thanks for the market TA. In the news today, ladies and gentlemen, there was a CoinDesk hot off the press about an hour ago regarding the meme coin era that we're experiencing. Like Pepe and Doge they're basically saying anything but a joke. And then it kind of, went into the article, read about it. It's a bunch of mumbo jumbo about Pepe coin. But it's really the interesting piece that I kind of took away from it is that they think that, there needs to be a sense of value towards, or sense of focus towards the value and substance of crypto and Web3. Because if these meme coins continue to keep this attention, a lot of the liquidity, it gets shifted, it gets scammed. This could play more the hands of regulators who might be like looking for reasons to impose those like stricter controls and leave rule makers with preconceived notions that all crypto is nonsense. And I was curious who wants to kind of, feel free to jump in. And give your feedback. Do you embrace meme coins and do you treat them like a joke?
So my outlook on meme coins is it was a gamble. like the entire time that we were in meme coin season, that's what I treated it as. It was, I knew that I could make money, but I knew that I could also lose everything. And, it ended up happening, and I was okay with it. I left crypto after that for a couple of weeks, and I just got back in. But like the entire time, I knew this is not a good investment. I'm just doing this as like a little bit of degenning. This is not like my entire portfolio or net worth going into it. It was just like extra money that I was completely okay losing. And that's what I saw it as. It was a complete gamble. It was not a good investment. And yeah, that's honestly what it should be like. It should be like casino money. Instead of going to the roulette, you went to meme coins. But that's it. It shouldn't be looked at as like the next Bitcoin, the next Ethereum. Like it was all just a bunch of meme, a bunch of dog coins, and that's all it should be. Uh, at least from my out view.
Sure. Go ahead, Ark.
Yeah, no, that's a good assessment. I do think that there is some meme coin or meme coins that will just always be around, just because memes are like the new punchlines, the new jokes, the new like way to make a joke without getting canceled. And so that's going to be important to the younger generation. And I'm a late millennial, so the current millennial generation, I think, falls into that category too, where memes that are very expressive, like Pepe, where you can have them being sad or happy or angry, or they can wear any clothing and they can be any color. Like that kind of stuff will just culturally be around for a long time. So I wouldn't be surprised if even like 10 years from now, when crypto gets more regulated and it's more used by everybody, that some of these meme coins stick around. But yeah, for the rest of them, it's like, taking a couple spins at the slot machine.
Sure. But I agree with that too. It is, some of this is pure degenerate gambling. Sometimes you kind of catch like a play, which, we'll kind of talk about these Telegram bots in a little bit, but like some of these with the actual, like a little bit of sense of utility can be interesting. Average, go ahead, Bo.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think you're totally right. Some of them will stay around for a while, but I get the sense that like this meme coin craze is probably close to coming to an end. You have to think like the people that are actually buying all these meme coins is a very limited population of people that participate in Web3 and crypto markets. Like these are the people that are like scanning live pairs on Dex tools and like know how to use Dexes and sniper bots like you were talking about. Like there's and think about how many people are actually like making any money in this, and it's probably like 0.01% are consistently making money. So I think it was like something fun for people to do. People were catching a bag early, and that attracts people, and they get kind of like addicted to the pump. And I think this, like everything else, will wear out as a craze very soon.
Yeah, I feel like most of it will wear out, but you'll still have that occasional sheep that made it through Doge, and then it sounds like Pepe's the next one, and then I'm sure won't be the last one either, right? And
Dude,
as
for
like,
sure, for
yeah,
sure. I mean, you those projects like Pepe, like that have really strong memetics and like they really resonate with crypto and Web3, like, and they're like very near and dear to everybody's heart. Like, yeah, I think you've seen it with Shib and Doge and some of the others over the years. Like those things will end up getting listed on Coinbase and going completely fucking bananas when the retail investor can get their hands on it. And I think you're right. Yeah, but there's only probably going to be like one or two that come out of every cycle.
yep, I agree. Cool. So that's the first part of the news today. Let me get to the other part here. So I was kind of looking at what Cointelegraph had to say about things. I mean, they don't really do too good of a job on some of these reporting days. I feel like they got their like C squad in here writing articles, but yeah, they kind of talked about like the digital sandbox that's coming out by the which I guess they call the UK Financial Watchdog. But it's going to be a permanent digital sandbox in August, which will include like open to business, startups, data providers, including those involved in banking, investment, lending, and payments. So I was really kind of interested. Is this like the version of their like Fed Now? Like, anybody have an idea of what any of this means yet? This is happening in the UK. No. All right, me either. I guess it really doesn't mean anything to us. Great.
Why are they always making these horrible names with Fed? Like it's like what the Threads did this too. They tried to make like the Fediverse was like their multiverse name, and it was like, yeah, definitely not government agents looking at what we're doing. 100%, totally legit.
Yeah, maybe this is more of a metaverse. I mean, maybe it's. I'm trying to like. I was skimmed through it earlier, but now as I kind of like look at more into it, it could be like their the government metaverse where you can go in there as a pre-approved. So basically, all their friends, anybody that has money like moving around with the government, will be able to have a sandbox location. Probably the ones that they're really in like pockets with will get closer to where you spawn in your character or something, right? So you get like the best real estate, and then you put all the chumps outside. But yeah, that's interesting. At least they're taking the time to look at sandbox, and hopefully people take the best out of this and move forward with a more decentralized version. But yeah, cool. So let's jump into the more fun conversations. We've got let's talk airdrops. I know Enzo was excited to get involved in this conversation. I was curious, like I've been seeing a lot of like I guess before I start, let Medic go ahead.
Yeah, thanks. No, I just one other thing that I wanted to just kind of throw out on the floor that I saw in the news, kind of get everybody's quick take on it, was that OpenSea opened up this peer-to-peer trade. And I don't know, do we think this is a good thing?
Oh.
Do we think it's overdue? Or what does everybody think?
I've been asking for this for like 5 years. Before I even traded on OpenSea, I was a Wax user, and I used Atomic Hub. I actually created a game on Wax for a company, and it was awesome. Like you could trade all your NFTs with other people. You could do auctions. You could do it was like a full functioning marketplace. It's still up if anybody wants to check out atomichub.io. It was like legit. And then everyone hopped over to OpenSea because of what was going on with just NFTs and PFPs. And it was like, I couldn't believe people use this platform. And I was like, oh, well, this isn't going to be around for that long. Someone's going to definitely eat their lunch. And still, like, what is it? 5 years later, they finally have trading. It's kind of ridiculous, to be honest, but it's a start. I'm glad that they did it.
Yeah, no, I think so. I think it's overall great for the space. A lot of the peer-to-peer issues, scams involved. I mean, you should literally be able to trade anybody like, hey, I invite you to a trade, and then you got like two little boxes pop up. You throw your NFT in that box, and you took the other one, or you put the ETH in there. You push lock, both your screen goes green, their screen goes green, and then you can push accept. That is what we're missing in the space. It's they have their Web2 gaming. Literally, it shouldn't be that hard of an issue, but OpenSea, it doesn't really. Maybe they take like a very small fee off the deal, but I don't know how they do that if it's two NFTs. So maybe it's free or whatever. But I think we're all waiting for an $ OpenSea or OS coin that will never come. But yeah, Enzo, let's jump into the airdrop stuff, man. So like, I guess I have a question for you. Are all these Twitter threads that you're seeing introducing the ZK this, the Oracle that, airdrops, are these all real, or are they scams? What am I seeing? Because there's a bunch of them popping up daily, and it seems like they're pretty well written, or at least a Chat GPT thread.
Yeah, so I finished my lesson on airdrops yesterday. Before yesterday, I never once got a notification about airdrops on Twitter. Like I would go through my feed and I would get nothing about airdrops. I finished my airdrop lesson yesterday. I woke up this morning, I scrolled through Twitter and it was all airdrops. So like someone's watching my computer and seeing that I'm like that I just finished that and was interested. So be careful like what your computer knows that you're looking at, first of all. Now that we got that disclaimer out of the way. So I sent you guys a list. I sent the whole team a list on our off-topic chat of like 30 airdrops that are going on right now. And these are airdrops that the professor put in a Google Doc for us. So I sent them to the team. Anything that's on there is what I'm really looking at. So the ZK Zinc one I'm looking at because they got like 400 and if I'm not mistaken, they got well over $400 million in funding that the team has raised so far. So that one's a really interesting one. And so is the Layer Zero. They got over $120 million raised. So those two I just started looking at. I wouldn't touch anything on Twitter. I would just go directly to those two specific Twitters for those companies and just go through their links. I wouldn't touch anything that people on Threads are coming out with, like Thread stuff, just because security first. So go through official links, not through what people are writing on Threads, just for safety reasons.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, just like, interesting enough about airdrops and stuff. It seems to be there are a couple different ways you can do this now because Mr. Average Crypto seems to be all plugged in with this stuff. And, we'll talk about the Telegram bots in a bit, Average, but I was curious of your take on this. Have you been involved with any of these airdrop, like, doing it manually versus having a bot do it for you?
Yeah, so we can talk about the bots in a minute, like you said, but the one thing I'll add is that one of the ways to kind of assess what airdrops are going to be valuable versus what airdrops are not is by going on DeFi Llama and looking at the total value locked for that protocol. Like ZK Sync has a pretty, I don't remember what it is today, but they're pretty high up there on DeFi Llama. They're like maybe in the top 15 of total value locked, which is like pretty fucking impressive. And like that's why, and I not to talk about like sizing up any other projects, but like when you look at a project like Arbitrum, for example, which is another layer two, in comparison to Polygon's like market cap, you start to think about how undervalued projects are when they have like a much higher total value of liquidity locked on their network than a token that maybe has a 7x size market cap. So there's a lot to learn if you're looking for airdrops by going to like DeFi Llama and looking up the total value locked.
Sick. I mean, I know that the airdrops are really good, and I mean, like, there's definitely a strategy. I'm gonna just try to get the easier ones, or at least the ones that we can do from like the bots. But yeah, let's before we go into gaming, we'll jump into the bot side of things. So there's been like a new meta lately, especially on the coin side of things, like the meme coins or shit coins. But it seems like a lot of these are launching as like bots, and then if you go into like the Telegram, you don't even have to own the coin. You can like connect or you can create a wallet on the Telegram, like a specific bot, and then you can like deposit money, and then it will run the transactions specifically for that. So like ZK Sync, it does all the transactions for you, and it tells you like what your expected like accumulation is. So like I guess Average, if you want to kind of run and dive into that stuff, that would be cool.
Yeah, dude, it's pretty crazy actually. I mean, Coco was saying a couple weeks ago, like one of the biggest themes for the market was going to be like the dApps and like the utility that some of these projects have now. And I was kind of struggling to understand what he meant. I was kind of thinking the run of the mill type dApp. But what's come over the last 2 weeks is like a wave of releases of projects that have bots that do all kinds of different tasks. Like I'm not going to show any projects or talk about any projects, but I currently am using bots that build websites for you in Telegram, bots that farm for airdrops, bots that snipe trades. There's like all kinds of really cool apps that are coming out that have a lot of utility. But along with that, like you just said, come a lot of scams. And there are people that are making pretty good like scam projects that actually have a working like bot, but they just don't have like any community around them or like any real investment. And I think a lot of a lot of it's a liquidity grab. I think I've been up for like the last 36 hours, just look at these different bot plays and trying to figure out which one is something and which one is nothing. I think the hard part is that like within a couple weeks, the entire market's just been saturated with what seems to be like an unlimited supply of bot projects. But that being said, I mean, some of these projects are freaking sweet. Like the airdrop farming bot I'm using, you can literally like send your ETH to it. You press go, and it like bridges to the protocol. It will swap to the different pairs for you. Then it will add the liquidity, and then ultimately it sends it back to your ETH wallet if that's what you want. But it does this like process that used to be really tedious, which frankly kept me from farming airdrops in the past, and it automates the process for you. So some of it's really fucking cool, man.
Yeah, and I mean, dude, we can say it. I don't think it's chilling, but I think it's worth knowing. Like, if you're since we did talk about airdrops, that's the which one is that one that snipes that? That's the loop.
Uh, yeah, I use Loopbot, and I actually like that project like specifically because their Twitter following is growing massively every day. There are people in their Telegram that work for the project. Like one of the big gaps that I think we're going to see in Web3 is like when you release a utility project, like you need support for the people that are using your product. And dude, there are so many of these projects that don't have any support for users. Like it's insane. So if you're going to use one of these products or invest in one of these products, make sure you go like spend a little time in the Telegram, ask questions, to see how they answer questions. A lot of them will just block you for asking questions, so you got to be careful of that. And then like see who else out there in the world is using the product or talking about it. Like Loopbot, for example, there are people from Uniswap already that are like buying the token and like using the product. There are a couple other people that have been in the space that are pretty accredited that are around the project. So yeah, I mean, there's some good utility out there. Just be careful though. There's a lot of scams too.
For sure. And so yeah, if you can definitely find Loopbot, join the Telegram, then go through it. So like, don't fall for like the other ones. And it's definitely cool. You can just like literally, Average helped me just like set it up and then create a wallet, throw some ETH in that wallet, let it run its course, and then once it's done, I guess we're waiting for the next one to pop off, right? We don't just restart the same one, right, Average?
Yeah, I mean, I don't use multiple wallets yet, and I've been using like a very small amount of ETH just to like make sure everything goes right. I mean, I'm just the kind of person, I'm skeptical of everything. So like I always want to make sure everything's working properly before I like go full bore into something. But I'll pin like a post from Loopbot to the top so people know which one we're talking about.
Wait, you're skeptical in Web3? What would give you that idea?
Well, I bought some ice cream one time and it was supposed to be chocolate and it turned out to be vanilla. Since then, I've just like been scarred very deeply.
Yeah, that's fair.
Go ahead, Enzo.
So, first of all, I'm sorry about your ice cream experience, man. That's tragic. I would hate to ask for chocolate and get vanilla. Second of all, so there are these things called Sybil attacks. And that's when a protocol recognizes that a person is either using a bot to try to farm the airdrop or using multiple accounts to try to farm the airdrop. So a person might make a wallet, a MetaMask wallet, and within this MetaMask wallet, you can make different accounts. So my question is, like, have you gotten an airdrop by using this bot yet? Like, has it been tested to the point where you've gotten an airdrop, or have you not gotten an airdrop from this bot yet? Because that would be the make it or break it thing for me, as most of the new projects that are doing airdrop farming are looking for these Sybil attacks and trying to make sure that they don't get airdrops.
That's such a great question. One of the things that I liked up front about what this project does is that it times all activity. So like when you bridge, it doesn't swap for like, a couple hours. And then maybe it'll do the next swap like a few hours later. And then like I think it took like 15 hours for everything to like get added to the liquidity pool. So they have everything like set on a timer and they don't like overwhelm the network. Now, the wallet question is a great question because I'm not sure how they're managing like the traffic and ensuring that it doesn't appear that all the traffic's coming from one place. That's a good question. I haven't really looked into that yet. But that being said, like these are newer projects, so like I don't think any of these projects have successfully at least any of the ones I'm working with. ZK Sync's like the first protocol they have on the bot.
Yeah, so it hasn't like ZK Sync hasn't launched yet. Maybe end of Q4. So like you're kind of, but for the most part, some people like Coco have, said that there's potentially a chance they don't do an airdrop, and then there's people like Nifty Wap who say if they don't do an airdrop, the project will not succeed. So there's a lot of hearsay around here on the top of ZK Sync. I think it's always worth if it's money that like you can't if it's I only put 0.1 ETH in, so it was like $200, and it does what it did what it said it's going to do. Hopefully that airdrop does come through in the future. But if anything, I'll just move that into like the next one that it has on the list, and we'll go from there. Who knows? Somebody, Meta, can you handle a second? Because I gotta check the phone. It might try to rug us.
Rugged. Yeah. Here, let me ask everybody. Since we're talking about bots, and you guys are kind of talking about the bots farming airdrops, I mean, I've started to see projects emerging like BAI that are creating, in essence, pools that are bot driven for trading these coins. What do you guys think about that?
Dude, they're fucking crazy. Like there are so many different utilities for these bots. I mean, the pool thing is wild. One of the other things I saw is that they have bots that can scrape Twitter for like token calls, and it like aggregates all these token calls for you in the Twitter bot. I mean, in the Telegram bot. Like I don't know, man. There's like so many utilities that have just kind of like poured all over the market in the last couple of weeks, man. It's been pretty wild.
Yeah, absolutely. We're just beginning to see this trickle, right? That started with ChatGPT, and it's going to become a deluge. What's on the other end of it? I don't know. I don't know where the bumper rails are here, because what are we going to get left with? Like a bunch of bots talking to each other on Twitter.
I mean, I think the one thing you can see, and I see like in the kind of Web 2 SaaS world, like I work with a lot of large enterprise software companies. I think like the price of software and the value of software companies is going to drop tremendously in the next couple of decades because it is so easy to make technology now, or at least software, because of the emergence of AI. Like you're going to get really good competitive products that are able to come out at a really high velocity that are very, very cheap to create. Like if you think about what it costs to produce over time, I'm going to try to think of a good SaaS that maybe everybody would know. Let's just say like a Coinbase application, for example. Like, dude, people are going to be able to like copy, paste, print those things and stamp them out at such a quick rate. Like, why would anybody pay the premium to use an application when there are 6 million of them that are just as good? So, I mean, I think that's what happens more in the near term is like there's an oversaturation of software, and it makes software and applications very cheap and very easy to access.
Yeah, but I think the other side of that coin is you're going to push innovation from the other side, because in order to beat that, as let's say a standing company or a new company coming into the marketplace, you're not going to, you can go for the masses with the easy low hanging fruit, but if you really want to drive revenue and change, and you're trying to become, let's say, a new leader or a new avenue in these spaces, then, absolutely you're going to be able to do that.
Totally.
Yeah.
I think it comes down to like the monetization model and how those companies plan on scaling, with like maybe the software, the application being like the PLG model, like a product led growth model. Like you give the people the product, then you figure out other ways to monetize it, like the data, kind of like a Facebook. But I think you're right. It is going to drive innovation. It's going to make these companies and these projects have to get really, really creative on how they attract users and how they incentivize users.
I think it will eventually be the bigger companies seeing who their competition is, and if the bigger company ends up having more money because they've been around for longer, they have better funding, they start to see who is creating these other bots. They're copy pasting and making innovations on those bots, and what they'll eventually start to do is start to buy out their competition, buy out the employees, the people that are good at prompting these bots. They'll just start to buy them out, and they'll eventually have people that can prompt these AIs really well to do innovative stuff, and that company will just get as innovative as it comes just from buying out their competition.
That's the Apple model, isn't it? Oh, wait, did I say that on a recorded line? Yeah, I mean, certainly there are going to be these innovations that will get sucked up by larger entities for sure. But I still think there is a lot to be said, especially in this space, for startups, right? There are plenty of startups that are building, have been building through this bear market. That there are startups that we haven't even seen come out yet that have been waiting for an appropriate time, right? That still see the power of this technology. So I think that we're still in that Wild West mode where you're going to see both. Some are going to certainly get, scooped up by larger entities and be happy to sell and make their windfall from that. But I think you're going to have staying players too that see the long term, goals and the long term gains and saying, you know what, I'm not selling out on the front end because I'm going to be bigger than you on the back end.
Hi.
All right, sorry guys, I'm
Sorry,
back.
I just stumbled across the space, but I thought it was very interesting hearing those points, especially because I'm going into game development at the moment, and so for me, it's very interesting and also kind of scary thinking about how AI can kind of replace my job potentially, and it can do it much quicker than other people can, which is a kind of a very scary thought. I just thought that was
Yeah,
interesting.
that's good. That's a good thing. I'd love to hear Ark's opinion on this because he's been in gaming for a long time.
Oh yeah, no, I used to play H1, so that's how I follow him.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, man. I remember playing H1 days,
Hell yeah.
nostalgic shit right there. But Ark, what's your thought on that, man? Like, do you feel that some jobs are in jeopardy if you're running it now? Do you still encourage people to get into those positions?
I think that it's really interesting right now because AI is such a powerful tool, and the way that I look at it is if you don't want to learn the tools, like think back when like Photoshop came out, there was a bunch of people that were like, this tool's really hard to learn. The UI is complicated. I'm just going to keep, making paint images or whatever. And they got left behind. They got left in the dust until they were forced to learn Photoshop because they had to for their job or whatever reason. And you can even go back further with any technology, trying to learn the internet, using like Microsoft Excel, it just keeps happening over and over again. So there's going to be a group of people that are just not willing to learn how to use AI, and they're just going to kind of cope and complain that it's taking their jobs. But I think the people who learn how to use AI correctly and efficiently are going to become like superhumans and create the most amazing content. So we're gonna fork again. Humanity always forks when a new technology comes out, and some people end up coming back around to it, or they're forced to learn it, and then some people just never learn, and then they kind of just get left behind, sadly. But that's kind of what's happening right now. That's the way I see it, anyways. Trying to be
I,
transparent about it.
I love that take, Art. Like, and I always like, I have a pretty good analogy for this. I think like AI can recite the alphabet A, B, C, D, E, F, G, but AI, at least right now, cannot imagine an alphabet from nothing. Like, and so when I think about, at least from my perspective, people that'll be successful as programmers in the future, it's going to be, there are kind of two types of programmers that exist today: the people that are the creative programmers that can imagine what doesn't exist yet, and then there are the people that kind of just work on projects and build based on what they're delegated down to build on that part of the project. And I think like Ark said, you're going to have to really learn how to use the tools, but you're going to have to know the subject matter deeply, and you're going to have to know how to create using the tools and your subject matter expertise. Like, so, I mean, I don't think people that have great programming minds are going to go anywhere, because I think that it would take, I don't know how many years for AI to catch up to that, if it ever will be able to replicate the human mind.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I completely agree. All right, you can go.
Oh,
My bad.
no, sorry, go ahead. I already spoke.
No, I was just saying I completely agree, and I think you're right about the point where I think it's going to come to a point where people are going to want you to really have amazing, whether that be C++ or whatever language they're looking for, amazing skill in that field, and then also be able to iterate that with AI and come up with some really creative stuff. So I think that's a very interesting take, and I completely agree. It's just like one of those things, because I'm only in college, so I'm 19. I'm a second year, and so like growing up and knowing this stuff, especially like just going into college, and this is all very fresh to me. Knowing about AI and its capabilities, especially at my age, and how much it can grow and improve upon itself, it is a scary thought. But in the back of my head, I really do have that thought where it's like, okay, I am a little bit scared, but I have a lot of confidence that it's going to turn into something where you want to have a deep proficiency in a programming language, and then also be able to iterate that with AI. So that's really interesting.
Yeah, what I was
I,
gonna say real quick, sorry, is that take like the writers' strike right now. Like there's a bunch of writers that are mad about AI taking their jobs, but there's also a bunch of kids in college that are learning how to become writers. And like, who do you think's gonna win? The kids in college that are hungry learning about AI and writing, or the people who are mad and striking against it? And so, there's going to be a whole generation of Hollywood that's like young kids with an iPhone making amazing movies, while the old Hollywood just kind of gets left in the dust. So that's again, I agree with what Average said, is that you need that you need like the knowledge, and if you have the knowledge, you use the AI plus the knowledge to just excel.
what's really interesting that we're talking about here are the same things throughout human history. It's tools. And for the people who see that this is, at least currently in its current iteration, is at least just another tool for humanity to use to do whatever it is that we want, right? To drive ourselves forward, to make our work easier, to provide us feedback. I mean, whatever it is we choose to use it for, if we engage it as such, as a tool for us rather than something that is against us, you're exactly right. You can't help but succeed with it.
Yeah, man, I completely agree with what Medic, with what you just said. I mean, if we just leave AI alone, if AI is not prompted to do anything, it will never take your job, because it doesn't have a mind of its own. It can't take over. It has no creativity. So AI by itself is not going to take anyone's job. It's AI being prompted by somebody else that has the abilities to properly prompt it and the creativity to give it something to do, that's what's going to take over. But AI by itself can't take over. Because if nobody goes to use ChatGTP, then ChatGTP can't do anything. It's just a website. But what it is like you guys were just talking about, it's a great tool, but that tool can't take over by itself.
Yeah, no, 100%. Just last thing, my friends are about to be here, so I'm gonna head out. Thank you guys for this was actually really cool. Never really been in any of these spaces before, so it's always nice to get to know some people, whatever. And yeah, that's about it. You guys have a great day. And Ark, you're the GOAT. Thanks for making my teenage childhood a little bit better.
Oh, dude,
All right.
that's too kind. Thank you so much.
You guys have a good one, all right?
You too, man. Feel free to stop by anytime. We do this every Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern.
Of course.
Usually go about an hour and a half. But tonight, actually, oddly enough, one of the DJs, Ark, that was in Vegas that we hung out with that next night after Azuki, is actually just flew into Tampa. He does the Daft Punk One More Time tour around the country. So Value and Time's almost to Tampa right now, and then we're gonna go to this little concert thing. I'm not quite sure what to expect because from the pictures I've seen of their other shows, it's the age group can be anything from an 18-year-old to a 45-year-old to a grandfather just grew up on Daft Punk. So I'm kind of excited because they wear all the uniform, and the two guys wear uniforms. They're undoxed.
Dude,
so it's
then the
fun.
PJ. Why am I not there? I would love to go. That just sounds so fun.
Yeah, so excited to check this thing out. So this, I'm not sure. Value should be here in half an hour, so we might go next another 10, 15 minutes here. I'll let DeFi Predator get their take in here for a second. But DeFi, man, thanks for jumping up. What did you want to chime in on? All right. Well, so Ark, man, I wanted to give a little bit of time for you, bro, to kind of just discuss. I know a lot of people know you from the H1Z1 era. If you don't have to go into detail if you don't want to, but just give some updates of what you got going on now, and your take on how you feel Web3 gaming is currently, because I went to 3XP and I saw what's on the market. It seems like Shrapnel, these more FPS shooter games, have been kind of overrunning the space so far, or at least the League of Legends and people trying to capture a Fortnite kind of style, right?
Yeah, no, thanks. Yeah, I have a hard out at 4, so this is actually perfect. I gotta head out after this. But but thanks for bringing me up here. It's been a great discussion. I've learned a lot about the crypto space, and still learning. I was in the space in 2017 when I got in, and it's weird to think that I'm one of the more seasoned crypto veterans now, because I still feel like I don't know very much about it. But in gaming, I know a little bit more about that part of it, and Web3 still has a long way to go because the gamers aren't really here yet. You're starting to get some pro gamers because of Yuga, and that's good because those guys have a lot of influence. But it's going to take a game like Shrapnel, where it's full on CS:GO with skins and crates, and that whole economy, I think, to jumpstart the whole movement. And then of course you have Other Side with their big MMO that they're trying to make. But so what we're trying to do is we're trying to craft a different angle, where instead of trying to make the biggest, best game of all time, we're trying to make a little more bite-sized type of stuff that kind of targets a specific genre or a specific group of people. And I think we can do that more efficiently and create revenue, because if you want to have a business, you have to create revenue. And it's really hard to do that if you're asking for $100 million to make a AAA, $100 million game. So what we're doing at Lethos is we're kind of taking little smaller bites to create some revenue so we can get a business going. So then we can eventually get to that $100 million AAA Web3 game. And so, that's what we're working on right now. It's been a lot of fun. There's been a lot of challenges for sure, because we're doing this in a bear market with no gamers. But it's okay. I kind of like being not undervalued, but kind of like under the radar. It's the best time to strike when your product is getting ready to launch, which we're not yet. But when we're ready to launch, I think it'll be good timing.
Yeah, and you're able to adjust your strategy, pivot, make mistakes, make have failures in a time when there's not as many eyeballs. I mean, some of this stuff that that happens now, man, you happens in a bowl. It could be it could be a pretty pivotal experience for your company with a lot of eyes on it. So I think right now is a great time and to put in the grind, put in the work, and you guys are doing it. We're doing it here at Metatope as well, and I think there's so much opportunity, like you said, in this gaming side of things, and it's going to be. I can't wait to see the light switch flicker for like a lot of these Web2 gamers and streamers. Like when when it clicks, it's gonna be epic for all of us that have been building. And I think it could be other side or it could be another side. Like it could be another company like your guys. Like I think you guys have an awesome opportunity based on our conversations. You guys are up to some amazing things, and yeah, man, thanks for joining us. And I look forward to seeing what you guys how everything start, how it all works and stuff that we can do together. But yeah, man, if you want to just say any last buys, do you want to drop any of the social links for this
Oh
stuff
yeah,
real quick?
thanks. No, it was great. Yeah, if you guys, I would just follow the main account, Lethos Entertainment, at Lethos ENT, or it might be at Lethos underscore ENT. But follow the CEO, Michael Mumbauer. He's like a legend in the space. He's our CEO, and he's basically pioneered mocap into Sony, and which made Last of Us and Uncharted what they are today. Like he was the reason for that. So follow him too. But yeah, let's just keep tabs on what we're doing. Follow the journey. It should be really fun.
Yeah, sure. We had it looks like a game came up on here. I just looked at their account. Some pretty cool landscapes for. So it looks like maybe a modern like a COD style game. What's up, Victory Point?
Oh yeah, hello, hello. No, I was just sitting back, relaxing, enjoying the conversation. Appreciate the direction things are going, and so long to Sir Ark. I was a longtime H1Z1 fan myself. I believe I got to meet him at TwitchCon 2017. The man handed me a mask, which should have been an NFT, and I sold that mask on OP Skins for $5,000. It paid for.
Holy shit!
So he's an absolute legend, a guy with a big heart. And yeah, thank you for pulling me up here on stage. Happy to join in on the conversation.
Sure, man. No, that's funny. I met Ark in Vegas. We were at the Zuki party. Jumped up where his bottles were, and we just clicked there. And then I was like, "Yeah, man, I'll meet you tomorrow." And we had a little get together, and he came, and it was a blast, man. To sit down for cut like we hung out, we talked business for like 30 minutes, and then had some drinks together, whatever. And then we had a meeting yesterday with him, and his team's fully docs now that the Lethos Entertainment. So I met up with him and the CEO Michael and Walker and Jordan were there, and we just there's a lot of stuff that we talked about that's under NDA, so it's really exciting to see the progression that they're making in the space and having all that Sony, H1Z1, all this background to them it's gonna be great for that studio to really be disruptive. That's a really disruptive group, especially having Arc involved with it. So
Yeah.
tell us, real quick, Victory. Well, we got a few more minutes here before we start doing like closing words, man. I'd like to, yeah, man. If you want to do a little light chill, I wouldn't mind, man. Tell us what you got going on.
Yeah, so I'm a fan about being fully doxxed. I'm glad that Ark and his team are getting out there and being transparent. That's the most important thing when it comes to creating a project, especially in the bear market, is making a name for yourself and making a true connection with those who you're building for. Being honest is one of the best ways to build right now. But yeah, my name's Dave. I'm the public relation lead for Victory Point, and we're a first person shooter building on Polygon. And it is going to be a Web3 game. Though it will be a Web3 game, our focus is on the Web2 world. It's going to be free to play. It's going to be available on Steam and Epic Games. And, my love and connection for gaming, it goes deep, man. I'm a fan of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 2009, not the new stuff, old school, man. CSGO. And that's kind of what we're shooting for. Merging CS:GO, merging Call of Duty, and of course, sprinkling a little bit of that Victory Point flavor into the mix. So we're coming at you with all new game modes, a lot of fun party modes. I think that's what games, tend to forget is this is a game. Let's try not to be too serious. I know we want to take things seriously, but at the end of the day, we're all gamers, man. We want to have fun. We want to laugh. We want to make memories. And that's what we're striving for. So, yeah, appreciate you for listening. If anyone wants to get involved, reach out to our DMs, man. We're looking for gamers. We're looking for creative minds. We're looking for marketers. We want to get our name out there. We've only been out here in the world of Twitter Spaces for maybe a month now, but we've been working on this game for a year and a half, and we put our heart and soul into this game, and hopefully it shows. But now, we need to get the game out there. Not many people know of us, but we're slowly working our way into the hearts of the gamers. And, I can't thank you enough for allowing me to speak.
Yeah, man. No, it's good stuff, bro. I mean, it's always tough to build community in the bear market, but it's a grind that'll pay off in the long run. I mean, I always recommend if you have a chance to. I mean, I don't feel like you need to actually throw booths anymore right now, but if you just attend some of these IRL these 3XPs or these gaming tournaments, I'm sure that's on your list and radar. But yeah, it's I tend to see a lot of really good relationships come out of those. But yeah, for sure, I think there's people. I'm sure Enzo would love to try out this game. I think it's cool you guys are building on Polygon. I guess my only other question would be how are you guys funded? Is it VC backed? Is it self funded?
Yeah, so a lot of it was self-funded. The person who's behind this project, the CEO, his name's Julio Costa. And the man is he's an absolute beast when it comes to being an entrepreneur. He's created many projects, many businesses in the past, but he's kind of new to the world of Web3. With that said, he has made a previous project before Victory Point, and that's actually how I met the man. I was part of this previous project. They decided to shut it on down and move to something bigger and better. That was back in 2021, and we are all noticing crypto games, these are catching on. That's when Victory Point was envisioned. But we do have VCs. We are and a few angel investors. But with that said, the more money, the better. Our door is open. Our virtual door is open to our office. If you ever want to walk in with a big bag of money, get behind the project, help us get our name out there. The more money, the better, especially in a bear market. We're living life stingy right now, and we're keeping capital free for when that bull market comes. Thank goodness it shouldn't be too far. It seems like 2024, 2025 might be a great year for crypto, and that's what we're aiming for, man. But yeah, we're living life stingy right now. We don't want to. We're holding on to our money pretty tight.
As you should be, man. I mean, it's a time where you want to spend as least amount as possible and try not to, create more risk. So I understand that completely. I think a lot of companies right now are running tight, so don't feel embarrassed or anything by that. It's good business practice and stuff. So yeah, thanks for jumping up, man. Gonna just close this out here now. I've got, like I said, value in time is getting close to Tampa, and it's always good to see crypto influencers in IRL. Try and nudge them a little bit. But no, I'm just kidding. So yeah, guys, Cryptomatic, man, why don't you do you want to lead us out with a closing statement of any sorts, and then we'll just kind of go around, let Average say something, maybe let Enzo say something, and get on out of here.
Yeah, man, because just like you said, we got to save money. I can't afford to pay you much longer, so we got to close this thing up. I just kidding. I love everybody, man. Thanks for coming out here today. This has been a great conversation. And with every week that we do this, we just gain more knowledge of the space, more connections to the people in it. And that's the most important thing that I have gained from crypto in the last 2 years. Much love.
For sure. And real quick, before Average, keep in mind, Metatope, if you haven't seen anything we're doing, or if you're, just hanging out, we have some announcements coming up pretty soon. We've had some great conversations in the last couple of days with projects with 10,000 collection, 10,000 collection projects that are interested in like our 3D modeling and stuff like that. So if you're a project and you need like animation, or if you're looking for like game ready assets, Victory, are you guys built on Unity or Unreal?
We are currently on Unreal Engine 5. Unreal Engine 4. Unreal Engine 5 would be impressive. Unreal Engine 5 is coming for our Battle Royale. But
Cool. So we'll definitely have to keep in touch, because what we do at Metatope is we can actually optimize game ready assets from these different collections and build an infrastructure. And gaming studios is exactly who we're looking to partner with, so that we can bring these assets into your game and let them go into other portions of our ecosystem. Maybe it's an MMORPG. They could take that asset into an FPS shooter. That would be pretty wild. So we're building first on Unity, but as we start to progress into the Unreal side of things, it would be great to have somebody on board to do that with. So please keep let's get into DMs and work something out. Put a call together.
Absolutely. I was just thinking the same thing. I'm sliding into the DMs now. That's exactly what we're looking for. Victory Point's our first game. Battle Royale's coming, and hopefully it doesn't stop there.
Awesome, man. Average, bro. Thanks for joining us. Give Average a follow. I've seen him transition from an upside down MFer NFT to a hexagon elemental. The guy is obviously using me as exit liquidity. Yeah, great. But Average, man, thanks for joining us.
Bro, thanks for having me. I'm never trying to use any of the homies as exit liquidity, bro. Never.
He said the word trying, he still pushes the sell button, just a little quick push on the sell button. But just kidding, man.
I mean, if the sell button's there and it's in front of me and I happen to trip and fall on the computer and execute the trade, I mean, that happens from time to time.
All right, Enzo, you get the last words, and then Cryptomedic, you can, if you want to load up a jammer. If not, I can just close this thing down.
Awesome. I had a great time in the space. I got to learn a lot about what is going on with some airdrop bots, which I'll be looking at. So thanks for all the info. I'm glad that I got to talk with all of you guys. I'm glad that Crypto Chris G let me get a quick outro in here. Thank you guys for that. Victory, I'll be getting in touch with you, as I love first-person shooter games. I'm a gamer myself. So yeah, thank you guys for coming out and coming to support Metatope. Love you guys so much.
Yeah, cyberpunk. Yeah. I mix my ETH with Polygon Pythagoras. MetaMask. Yeah, crypto cash. Yeah, I seen the metaverse through Metatope, my eyes a megaphone. Customize my empty skin to optimize my flesh and bone. Phase 1 evolution, revolution. Smart contracts inside your smartphone. Phase 1 evolution, revolution. Help me CT phone. Whole body markerless motion capture. The metaverse broken after the Metatope golden era. The whitelist still open. Hurry up, what you need? Golden chariot. Holy virgins that's holding cherubims, paving the road with fairy dust. Create the avatar of your wildest dreams, yeah, and use it inside your live stream. And all your metaverses, favorite games in widescreen. Metatope, visualize your digital ID. I seen the metaverse through Metatope, my eyes a megaphone. Customize my empty skin to optimize my flesh and bone. Yeah, Metatope is your mirror to the metaverse. Yeah, I seen the metaverse through Metatope, my eyes a megaphone. Customize my empty skin to optimize my flesh and bone. Metatope.